We're live. We're live.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Ranger Church of God in Ranger, Texas. Hope everyone has had a blessed week, as we definitely have, and the Lord continues to bless us. So on to our and we would like to open tonight. Anybody have any prayer requests? Anything this time? Yes, y'all keep us in prayers for we're going on an anniversary to us for that God rides with us and flies with us. That's the biggest thing we need in that plane. We're close to him there. He just gets us there and gets us back, and I know Rocky wants us back within the next day. But that probably is not going to happen. Not the next day. Anyway, just keep us in our prayers. I joke around a lot, I know. Okay. All right. Well, let's bow our heads in prayer to the Lord. Our Father in heaven, we come to you this evening, Lord, in the name of your precious Son, Jesus. Father God, we just ask you, Lord, tonight to forgive each and every one of us, Father, that we've fallen short of your glory, dear Lord. Have mercy on us, Father. Have mercy on your Son. Father God, we ask you tonight, Lord, anoint this service, Father, this Bible study, Lord. Father, as we begin to look at numbers, let your words come out of our mouth, Lord, and may we help you to teach you a good understanding of each and every book that is in your Bible. So we become closer to you in our daily walk, become more educated, Father, and understand more thankful, more clearly. Help us open our eyes, our ears, our hearts, and our minds. Father, we ask you tonight, Lord, that you, we've had a lot of people on the prayer list, Father. God, and I just come each name real quick. We got Bosky and Material Vasquez, Lord, and Bishop Station together, Father, Father God, and we just know. And for blessed people, Lord, that's Gary's Father, that you just touch and heal her. I just want to go right with God. And Father, also for Pastor Steve, Lord, that you just touch him and his family, Father God. And this thing thirst in my heart now, we're all experiencing, Lord. And Father, and also for Bill and his wife and kids and grandkids, Lord, that you keep the innocent away, Father God. Everybody meet them each day, Father, we just thank you for everything. Father, we love you, and we ask you to be with us in everything. In the name of your holy precious Son, Jesus, we give you this prayer. Amen. All right, tonight we're going to start looking at numbers. Our pastor here, he's going to come up here and read the introduction. His words in his Bible are a little bit too small for me. I can't read them. I'm getting old and blind. That's okay. God can give me a set of new eyes. Especially here in a couple of weeks when I go to Cycling. All right, Brother Steve.
I know that we're starting a new book tonight, Numbers, and I just kind of wanted to do as an outline or a survey, and also speak about the author just a little bit. They kind of give us an idea of where Numbers originated, how it came about. Just kind of go through that, and if anybody's got any questions about that, I'll leave it to Brother Jack to answer. But I am not the Bible study director or teacher, whatever he is. Anyway,
Amen.
the survey. The book of Numbers takes its name in our English version, as it did in the Latin and the Greek also, from the two census reported in the narrative. Actually, the book is a division of a larger unit in the Pentateuch. Among the Jewish scribes, it was known mainly as in the wilderness, which in Hebrew is the word B'mitor, a title from the first verse. This is appropriate since the theme of the book is I'm going to try to pronounce that word, in victories of the people of Israel from the time they left the area of Sinai until they reached the borders of the Promised Land. Numbers seems at times to be rather loosely knit collection of data, narrative and ritual or civil law, yet these data are always pertinent to the history, while the legal enchantments often arise out of the exigencies of the situation in life. such as the allowance for a special Passover. You'll find that, we're going to find that over in chapter 9, 1 through 4. In circumstances which precluded observances of the regular Passover or the claim of the daughters of Zelophehad, which called for the Lord's provision for the inheritance by the daughters where there was no surviving sons. Historically, Numbers begins with Exodus, ends with necessary allowance, and of course, for the scattered narrative sections of Leviticus. It covers a period of approximately 40 years in the story of Israel's advance upon Palestine. While these are usually described as years of wandering, it is fairly clear that the people lived south of Canaan proper, partially in the area known as Negev, not far from Kadesh Barnea, and about 37 years. During this time, the tabernacle was the focal point of civil as well as a religious life, since it was here that Moses carried out his administrative duties. It may be assumed that the people followed the domestic pursuits of nomads living in tents, pastured flocks in the semi-arid steppes. These circumstances require special divine provision of food and water. God is presented in Numbers as a sovereign who demands absolute obedience to his holy will, but who also shows mercy to the penitent and believing. As a father nurtures and chastens his children, so God directs Israel, his beloved. He chooses to deal with men through mediators. Of these, Moses is unique. Through others may be endowed or prophetic gifts, and even a heathen, Balaam, may be used. Since God is good of the spirits of all flesh. Several references to Numbers are found in the New Testament, where the deliverance from Egypt is regarded as an earthly pattern of eternal redemption. The wilderness experiences are said to be recorded for our admiration. You can find that in 1 Chronicles 10 and 11. Our Lord Jesus Christ used the incident of the brazen serpent in illustration of the way he himself was lifted up so that those who believe in him might not perish but have everlasting life. The author, both Jews and Christians, traditionally have regarded Moses as the author of Numbers. Since the Mosaic period is at least 300 years before Christ, the book in its present form has passed through many hands, and even in the Hebrew itself has been translated from one type of script to another. Undoubtedly, there are scribal and editorial additions here and there. Extremes of literacy criticism have tried to deny that Moses had or could have written any of the book, and have attempted to portion it into documents dating from several periods of Israel's history. Archaeological discoveries however, have shown that iniquity of laws, institutions, and living conditions described in Numbers. The view that Numbers comes from Moses and the period in which he lived is supported also by the great veneration which the Jews had for Moses and the sacred writings attributed to him. And we are in Numbers chapter 1, Brother Jack.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Brother Steve. Yeah, that's definitely important to everything that we do here in our Bible study. That everyone hopefully is aware of that. If you have questions, raise your hand. We'll ask questions. We'll find the answers. Whatever it takes, we'll find the answer. After all, that's what it's all about. Is us coming together as a group, under God, to learn His Word and to have this Bible study. When we started it, as we all know, Bible is not in chronological order. But we decided to read it from the first of the Bible to the back of the Bible. We have not left out not one word. And some of these things are pretty tough to get through as Leviticus was pretty tough. I agree with you now, really. I really do. I've kind of glanced through it, and I never really read it fully though until here. It was tough. I'm just saying it was really tough. But yeah, he makes a good point, sir. You know, as you know, Moses is the one that we mostly believe had wrote. And it may not be all the numbers, but the time frames of where things were found. It all does point to Moses' time. He could have been one, but either way, we do know that every word in here is inspired by God. God lives through every word that is in here. This is documentation of it. In this book, the Bible, if someone doesn't know, it is conformed with 66 different basically different diaries. Really, what it is, we call them books. 66 different books by 40 different authors that we know of. And it could be more authors than that. But the ones got accredited for it is 40 authors. So, all right, that's enough of the gap for now. So let's get started. And we'll start reading the Numbers, chapter 1, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year after that they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls. Well, in other words, what's happening is Numbers, as he said, it come from Moses, he numbered the Israelites. So they took every male by their polls, from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. Thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. And with you there shall be a man of every tribe, every one head of the house of his fathers. And these are the names of men that shall stand with you, of the tribes of Reuben, Eleazar, the son of Shadar, of Simeon, Shelumiel. I'm probably not pronouncing these wrong, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing them right, but the son of Zerashadai of Judah, Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, of Issachar, Nathaniel, the son of Zor, the Zebulun, Eliab, the son of Helon, of the children of Joseph of Ephraim, Elishama, the son of Amihud, and Manasseh, Gamaliel, the son of Pedazar, of Benjamin, Abidan, the son of Gideon, looks like, of Dan, Ahazar, the son of Mashalah, of Asher, Pagil, the son of Okran, of Gad, Elisha, the son of Jewel, of Naphtali, Ahira, the son of Enan. These were the renown of the congregation, prince of the tribes of their fathers, heads of thousands in Israel. And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names. Yes, we are in Numbers, verse 18. Oh, okay, you're fine. You listen in. And if you have questions, just ask. We don't mind. Because we're all in this together. Okay, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their family by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward by their polls. As the Lord commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names by the polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war, those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Reuben, were 46,500. That is a lot of people. And just the thing, Moses numbered them.
That's just one of the tribes.
Yeah, there's 11 more. All right, verse 22. Of the children of Simeon by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, those that were numbered of them, according to the number of their names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Simeon, were 59,300. Of the children of Gad, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Gad, were 45,650. Of the children of Judah, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of their names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Judah, were 314,600. Of the children of Issachar, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Issachar, were 54,400. I just like to add, I should mention, there is a lot of people in each tribe. And there are 12 tribes, and these number each one. And these are all the Israelites that did come out of Egypt. Yes, they did. I delivered them to the Lord. Give them to the land of milk and honey. So they're on their way now. Okay, verse 30. For the children of Zebulun, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war, those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Zebulun, were 57,400. Of the children of Joseph, namely, of the children of Ephraim, by their generations after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Ephraim, were 40,500. Of the children of Manasseh, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Manasseh, were 32,200. Of the children of Benjamin, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Benjamin, were 35,400. Of the children of Dan, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of their names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Dan, were 3,2,700. Of the children of Asher, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Asher, were 41,500. Of the children of Naphtali, throughout their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and up, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Naphtali, were 53,400. I'm just kind of curious, does anyone write these numbers down so we can have them all of them? So maybe it'll help.
They're right there in front
Yes,
of you,
they
all
are.
paper in black and white.
Definitely black and white.
Right.
All right. These are those that were numbered, which Moses and Aaron numbered. Moses and Aaron numbered. This first time I sat there, I realized Aaron helped me number. I really didn't always thought it was Moses. See, I'm learning something new tonight. Aaron helped me. And the prince of Israel also helped, being 12 men. Each one was for the house of his fathers. So were all that were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers, from 20 years old and up, all that were able to go forth to war in Israel, even all they that were numbered were 600,000 and 3,550. So there we have it.
Well, there's your
It is.
total right
Yes,
there.
it is. I kind of knew it was coming on. I just thought some, mathematician would be in here. So we are looking at total numbers 600,000, 3,550. That is a lot of people. But the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among.
No, they were not.
Yeah, the Levites were the
They were not
blessed
given
tribe.
any-
They were
They were not given any land either.
right. They weren't. They were served God. Well, and the Israelites. Okay. For the Lord has spoken unto Moses, saying, Only thou shalt not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. But thou shalt appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of testimony, and over all vessels thereof, and over all things that belong to it. They shall bear the tabernacle and all the vessels thereof, and they shall minister unto it, and shall encamp round about the tabernacle. That was their duty, was to take care of God's church, the tabernacle. And that's all of them. There was a lot of, there was over many. Okay, and when the tabernacle is set up forward, the Levites shall take it down, and when the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard throughout their homes. But the Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony, and that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. And the Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of testimony. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. Okay, chapter 2. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Every man of the children of Israel shall pitch his own tent standard, with the ensign of their father's house, far off about the tabernacle of the congregation shall they pitch. And on the east side toward the rising of the sun shall they of the standard of the camp of Judah pitch throughout their armies. And Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, shall be captain of the children of Judah. And his host, and those that were numbered of them, were 14,600. And those that do pitch next unto him shall be the tribe of Issachar. And Nathaniel, the son of Zoar, shall be captain of the children of Issachar. And his host, and those that were numbered thereof, were 54,400. Then the tribe of Zebulun, and Eli, the son of Helon, shall be captain of the children of Zebulun. And his host, and those that were numbered thereof, were 57,400. All that were numbered in the camp of Judah were 100,000 and 4,000 and 6,400 throughout their armies. These shall first set forth. I would just like to input, that's pretty amazing how God set this up in a certain position, not just where the Lord before the Lord. I mean, the way they are positioned, pretty neat, isn't it? All right, verse 10. On the south side shall the standard of the camp of Reuben, according to their armies, and the captain of the children of Reuben shall be Eliezer, the son of Shedeur, and his host. And those that were numbered thereof were 46,500. And those that which pitched by him shall be the tribe of Simeon, and the captain of the children of Simeon shall be Shelumiel, the son of Jershadiah, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 59,300. And don't forget me if I mispronounce these names, some really tough. Then the tribe of Gad, and the captain of the sons of Gad shall be Elasa, the son of Reuel, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 45,650. All that were numbered in the camp of Reuben were 100,050 and 1,450 throughout their armies, and they shall set forth in the second rank. Verse 17. Then the tabernacle of the congregation shall set forth with the camp of the Levites in the midst of the camps, as they encamp. So shall they set forward every man in his place by their standards. On the west side shall be the standards of the camp of Ephraim, according to their armies. And the captain of the sons of Ephraim shall be Elishama, the son of Ammihud, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 40,500. And by himself shall be the tribe of Manasseh. And the captain of the children of Manasseh shall be Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 32,200. Then the tribe of Benjamin, and the captain of the sons of Benjamin shall be Abidan, the son of Gideon, that's it, sorry, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 35,400. All that were numbered of the camp of Ephraim were 100,000 and 8,000 and 100 throughout their armies, and they shall go forth in the third rank. The standard of the camp of Dan shall be on the north side by their armies, and the captain of the children of Dan shall be Ahazir, the son of Amashadiah, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 3,2,700. And those that encamp by him shall be the tribe of Asher. And the captain of the children of Asher shall be Pagiel, the son of Okran, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 41,500. Then the tribe of Naphtali, and the captain of the children of Naphtali shall be Ahira, the son of Kenan, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 53,400. All they that were numbered in the camp of Dan were 100,050 and 7,600. They shall go times most with their standards. These are those which were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers. All those that were numbered of the camps throughout their host were 600,000, 3,550. But the Levites were not numbered among the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so they pitched by their standards. And so they set forth every one after their families according to the house of their family, of their fathers. All right, you may have any questions to this point, curiosities or insights. I think it's pretty awesome how God just kind of set them up the way that they needed to be. God had a perfect plan. But as we're going to find out, maybe just kind of go over the wayside and give them all the orders. All right.
It's hard for one man to lead that many people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, God ordained him now. God wants you to feel like that. Do as I say and do as I do. All right. Now, I bet it was tough. Probably most of them bald headed by pulling his hair out when it just turned gray.
Like they can marry.
Yep.
Like they had, we got everything to help him.
That's right. Yeah. He did, but couldn't speak at first.
It's hard to get two people.
Yeah, but
to
I
listen to.
got to have that question. Do anyone know, did Moses' speech ever really come to him? Or did he continue to use Aaron? But God sent Aaron as a helper, correct?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, to help him speak. Because Moses
Aaron was the interpreter, so to speak, because Moses couldn't speak.
Or could they have like a speech impediment or something? So if anyone out there thinks they're not good enough to do the Lord's work, oh, forget that. I'm living here, I'm standing up here. I'm doing what God tells me, I'm gonna do it regardless. So, but if I'm faltering, just figure out that.
I just want to throw this in there, and it probably don't really matter to a whole lot of folks, but when it starts talking about 3 score, 4 score,
Yes,
or 2 score, that's in multiples of 20.
20, yes, 3 score will be 60, 4 score is 80. Kind of like counting money.
I just don't want to take for granted somebody.
Yeah, I didn't think that's a good point, I'm glad you brought that up, someone may not know. Yeah.
So he's just building his people right now?
He's
You're
building arms.
putting their, okay,
Yeah,
so
he's
just by
building-
the sons, and so that's why.
Yeah,
I
building-
didn't know that.
He's building the military on the basis of the 12 tribes.
Okay, so they're just telling us who was in each family.
Yeah.
Right. And how many of them they were. That were above 20 and going to war.
Right.
They fixing
So
the
they have
fight.
sons about that
Those
20.
are the ones
Yeah.
that counted, the other ones were over 20 and they were men. They weren't counting women and children at all.
No.
Right.
So we're
There were more,
the
yeah.
10 they're protecting.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like, you
That was
know,
true.
military, they have to be over 20 years old enough to be
Yeah.
in the army. And that's who he was numbering, was the soldiers. And they were going to war to take over the land that God promised them of milk and honey, which is Canaan, correct? If I'm wrong or something, y'all just correct me, because, you know,
No, I was just saying, because like you said, that the children, they were the tents or whatever.
right?
They're talking about.
The families, that's how they were living. They didn't build no structure. They were living
In the wilderness.
Okay, I was,
They're in the
I thought they were
wilderness here.
protecting something.
No, they're in the wilderness and they get ready to, in today's language, they just getting ready to throw down.
Right. It's like us here, say if we were all living out here in a big field and we had to move and relocate closer to the land we were promised, we'd have to pitch this tabernacle and carry it with us. And that one tribe, the Levites, that was their main job. They weren't numbered as soldiers because their number one job was to protect and secure and, there's another word I'm looking for, I can't think of it right now, but to secure, you know, to protect and to keep the tabernacle. They would tear it down, relocate, build it back up. Every time they relocated them, that's what they did.
There's a good thing to pull out of this though. It lets you know that the reason they're staying in, and just like the tabernacle, where they're having to tear it down or break it down, put it back up, break it down and put it back up. Nobody had a solid place to live because that were their permanent residence. That's the purpose of what we're reading right now, but because they're fixing to march on to take the promised land.
And also, I would like to add that, the reason they don't have a residence is because they just got the river. Now, the 3 books before this, when we have Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus. Leviticus is mostly the laws of the Israelites for them to be forgiven of their sins. That was a tough one, like I was saying, we just got through. I mean, it really was. We can't none of us do that. Thank God for Jesus. But in Genesis, we started there, and of course the sins happened. God created everything, created man, we betrayed him. So then we got sin came upon us, so then God can't be with the sin, so he had to go away. Because we couldn't be in the presence of God with sin on us. It's not going to happen. So therefore, in order for us to atone for our sins, like in Leviticus, they had the sacrifices of lambs and goats and turtle doves, birds and the burnt offerings. But God does, the sin of the burnt offering, the barbecue. Just like that's why we like it when we smell it. And that's why they have an allergy, but we all do. We smell somebody, smoking on the grill. We would like to go over and just kind of help them. Because it is a sweet savor, and it just starts coming to something that's holy. It really is. So we went from Genesis to, went from Genesis to Exodus, because the Israelites got enslaved. before Exodus to Egypt. And God delivered all the Israelites out of Egypt. He told them, I protect you, I will deliver you out of this land, I will be your God, you will be my people, I will save you, I will give you land. And he promised them a land of milk and honey. That's why right here that we are in the book of Numbers, is that Numbers 44, because when it's the war against this land. But, so it all plays out. God's trying to work with them. And, sadly, they just don't do too good. Right, yeah, but thank God he had a plan for a generation just like us. We get saved. It's our job to instill the love of God into our kids and grandkids and so on. That's why God promised us so many generations. That he'll be there for us as long as we accept him. So it is very important because you're going to see some of this generation is going to die off. And it's going to be the generation that wasn't here for all this, which we were going to end up in the land. So if you think God had that great plan, I would have thought it would be done good. He knows what he's doing.
But just keep in mind, in Genesis, God promised Abraham
Right. Yes.
a promised land. They were in the promised land, but somebody messed up and they got scattered. That's where all this come about.
Yep.
And then Moses comes on the scene. He goes out and grabs them out of captivity in Egypt. Just kind of recapping what we're doing. And now he's done crossed Red Sea, and we're fixing to go back or Israelites are fixing to go back to the promised land, but they're gonna have to fight to get back. So that's where we're at. We're fixing to throw down.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's going to be, it's actually pretty cool how it happens with these people that's not wanting the Israelites to be there.
The word horrific. The book of Leviticus it goes through all the breakdowns of what they had to do to get the sin out of the camp
Right.
in order to get them to this point to go back into the promised land.
I tell you right now, not one person could ever keep that forever like that. It was unheard of. That's why he just in his he was rolling his sack. We got it made. We just don't realize. We really do. It was laid out so simple for us, it's unreal. I can imagine what they would be thinking if they'd have known that now. What, really, a Savior's coming? Of course, I know they're kind of prophesied it, someone to read what type of word, but, they'd be astonished, and they're not easy. All right. Okay, let's go chapter 3. These also are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that the Lord spake with Moses in Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. And by the way, that is in the tabernacle. And Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord, when they offered strange fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children, and Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron their father. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him. And they shall keep his charge, and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation, to do the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the charge of the children of Israel, to do the service of the tabernacle. And thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel. And thou shalt appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on the priest of the fire, or they shall wait their priest's office. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, And I, behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of all the firstborn that opened the matrix among the children of Israel. But therefore, the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. For on the day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. Mine shall they be. I am the Lord. Anyone have any questions on what he's really saying here? Because these two guys, they try to do sacrifice of their own understanding, I guess, or maybe they're envious, because, you know, the Levites were the ones that were to go between them and God. They tried to step in, so they died right there. So, I mean, they done the wrong one. They worried about it. They done the wrong sacrifice. And knowing what their sacrifice was, because he told them before this what they are and what to do and how to do it. Well, they didn't do it right. So they died, and God, basically, he cursed them and took all the firstborn, except for the Levites. He didn't kill them, they didn't die right then, but he kept them for himself. And that's pretty much what he's explaining here, if anybody has questions on that, what he's doing. Okay, let's see. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, number the children of Levi after the house of their fathers, by their families, every male from a month old and upward shalt thou number them. Notice this is from a month old. From 1 month old now, they're not for war, because they're hid. And Moses numbered them according to the word of the Lord, as he was commanded. And these were the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their families: Libni and Shemaiah. And the sons of Kohath by their families: Amram and Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. And the sons of Merari by their families: Mali and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to the house of their fathers. Of Gershon was the family of the Libnites, and the family of the Shemites. These are the families of Gershonites. Those were the number of them, according to the number of all the males, from a month old and upward. Even those that were numbered of them were 7,500. The families of Gershonites shall pitch behind the tabernacle westward. And the chief of the house of the father of Gershonites shall be Elisha, the son of Leel, and the charge of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation shall be the tabernacle, and the tent, the covering thereof, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the curtain for the door of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and the courts of it, for all the service thereof. And of Kohath was the family of Amorites, and the family of Zecharites, and the family of Hebronites, and the family of Uzzielites. These are the families of the Kohathites. And the number of all the males from a month old and upward were 8,600. Keeping the charge of the sanctuary. The families of the sons of Kohath shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle southward. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of Kohathites shall be Elisaphan, the son of Uzziel. And their charge shall be the ark, and the table, and the candlestick, and the altars, and the vessels of the sanctuary, wherewith the minister, and the hanging of all the service thereof. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, shall be chief over the chief of the Levites, and have the oversight of them that keep the charge of the sanctuary. Of Merari was the family of the Malites, and the family of the Mushites. These are the families of Merari. And those that were numbered of them, according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, were 6,200. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of Merari was Zuriel, the son of Abihail. These shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle northward. And under the custody of the charge of the son of Merari shall be the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof, and all the vessels thereof, and all that serveth thereto, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords. But those that encamp before the tabernacle toward the east, even before the tabernacle of the congregation eastward, shall be Moses, and Aaron, and his sons, keeping the charge of the sanctuary for the charge of the children of Israel. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. In other words, what he's saying, the stranger that cometh nigh, if someone just happened to not happen, but they know not to be there, if they're not supposed to be there, and they try to get up to them, they will die. Okay, all that were numbered of the Levites, which Moses and Aaron numbered at the commandment of the Lord, throughout their families, all the males from 1,000 and upward were 22,000. And the Lord said unto Moses, number all the firstborn of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward, and take the number of their names. And thou shalt take the Levites for me, I am the Lord, instead of all firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. And Moses numbered as the Lord commanded him all the firstborn among the children of Israel. And all the firstborn males by the number of names, from a month old and upward, of those that were numbered of them were 22,213. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the Levites instead of all the children among the children of Israel. Take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of their cattle. And the Levites shall be mine. I am the Lord. And for those that are to be redeemed of the 213 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, which are more than Levites, thou shalt even take 5 shekels apiece by the pole. After the shekel of the sanctuary, thou shalt take them. The shekel is 20 gerahs. And thou shalt give the money wherewith the odd number of them is to be redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons. And Moses took the redemption money of them that were over and above that were redeemed by the Levites, of the firstborn of the children of Israel, took he the money, 1,365 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. I like to say that is a lot of shekels of silver. I mean, I don't think I'd want to be the one person trying to carry it all. That's why he had so many of this. So, verse says, God, you don't want us to do it. And Moses gave the money of them that were redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons, according to the word of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 4. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation, about the most holy things. And when the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of the testimony with it, and shall put thereon the covering of badgers' skins, and shall spread it over in a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put it in the staves thereof. And upon the table of the showbread they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and covers to cover withal. And the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with the covering of badger skins, and shall put in the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith the minister unto it. And they shall put it in all the vessels thereof, within a covering of adder skins, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of adder skins, and shall put to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with coverings of adder skins, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put on it all vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. They shall spread upon it covering of adder skins, and put the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of the covering of the sanctuary, and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, after that, the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath and the tabernacle of congregation. And to the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest pertaineth with oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all tabernacle, and of all that therein is in the sanctuary and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die. When they approach unto the most holy things, Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint them, every one to his service and to his burden. They shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, lest they die. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sons of Gershon throughout the house of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old. Shalt thou number them, all that enter into him to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of congregation. This is the service of the family of the Gershonites, to serve and for their burdens. And they shall bear the curtain of the tabernacle and the tabernacle of the congregation, its coverings, and the covering of the adder skins that are above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. You know, God has pointed out in line to each and every man their own job. This is pretty, I guess I'm sure we can work on it. Okay, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the court, for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, and all their burdens, and all their service, and ye shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the family of the sons of Gershon. In the tabernacle of the congregation, in their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after the families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old shalt thou number them. Every one that enter into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service, and by the name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. To those that went with us when we had kind of studied the tabernacle, the way this thing was built, so intricate, and every detail is so pointed. I mean, you know, we have these boards that are layered with gold, and these guys job was to take it down when they dismantled the tabernacle and they moved, they set it back up, so their job to put it back. The sockets they're talking about, the sockets for the boards and the pins going in, out of silver. It's just amazing, so you know. So I kind of recap on that real quick. Okay, this is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, and the priest. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of Kohathites after their families and after their houses, their fathers, from 30 years old and upward unto 50 years old. Every one that entered into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, and those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that were numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandments of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon, throughout their families and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entered into the service for the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon. Of all that might do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entered into the service for the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered, after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, were 8,544. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, every one according to his service, and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 5. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out the camp every leper, and every one that hath issued hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead, both male and female shall ye put out. Without the camp ye shall put them, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so. And they put out without the camp, as the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principles thereof, and add unto a fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. But if a man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, without the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the holy names of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man hallowed things shall be his. Whatsoever every man giveth the priest shall be his. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside, and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and he kept close, and she be defiled. And there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the man. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she not be defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord, and the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take, and put it in the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that calleth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the Lord, if no man hath lain with thee, and thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and that thou defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thy husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with the oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse, and an oath among the people. When the Lord doeth, make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. And his water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering of the woman's hand, and shall lay the offering before the Lord, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass. Sorry, y'all. Kimberly, did you go here? Okay. All right. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and hath done the trespass against her husband, that the water that curseth, that causeth the curse, shall enter into her and become bitter. And her belly shall swell, and her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled. Or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law, then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's close there for the night. We'll begin next week, 6:30, Numbers chapter 6. We got 5 chapters. I mean, am I reading too fast, or we're okay? What can we see? These names, oh boy. All right. Anybody have any questions before we close? It's a lot. I mean, I feel sorry for the women back there. But, you know, your iniquity is your iniquity, and all will answer for it. Go, Lord, in prayer. Our Father in heaven, come to you. In the precious Son, Jesus. Father, give us Lord. Give us all that we've fallen short of your glory. Lord, have mercy on us. All have mercy. Father, we ask you tonight, Lord, to go with each and every one of us, Father, out of the world tonight, Lord, keep us safe, and travel, whatever the means are, Lord, keep us safe from the heat, from, just the madness of the world, Lord, but it's not crazy out there. You said it would, and it is. And Father, most of all, we ask you to remain in our hearts. Now, these words that we read tonight, Lord God, let it etch in our hearts, and let us live our lives according to your histories and your words, Lord. And Father, we just thank you for everything, Lord God, and bring us all back here safely at the next appointed time. In the name of your holy, precious Son, we say amen. Can I sing now?
Hey, turn the loose on.
Always like to sing. I like learning.